So I seen this symbol, which is, I've been guided to call them Jaleesic rings, essentially, but I've been seeing this symbol over and over and over. It's been kind of just playing out in my mind. And then I was actually researching some information. I went on and was searching the sun cycles, and I was watching the rotation of the sun and how it rotates around the sun. And each one of these rings that you're looking at right here that go around, and come back to the center, but then loop around really far and come back to the center. This is actually the rotation of the Earth and how the Earth rotates around the sun. This is exactly its pattern, and this is exactly what it's doing. It's coming this far out and coming back around, this far out and coming back around. So it's just always so amazing to me when I get these imprints of a symbol and then I start searching for answers, and then I find what it is I'm supposed to find and why I'm supposed to find it. So it's basically a flower symbol. The Earth is making flower symbols around the sun. This is basically, the flower of life. And so here's another picture that I have for you guys that I drew this up as well. So please don't make fun of my handwriting here. I'm just, going with what I see, and I wanted to show you guys kind of what I mean more with a picture here, because I think this is going to be easier to understand what I'm saying. So if you look at this picture here, you'll see the waves. So wave cycles within your body are attracted more strongly to the farthest point of the wave. This would be your highest ascension point. Okay? So there's more to that. Also, if you look here, there are peak hours of the day where multiple functioning ascension cycles are all simultaneously descending at the same time. So between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m., and also the hours of 1 and 3 p.m., the collective as a whole is compressing and squeezing and contracting and absorbing radial, solar, lunar, cosmically charged electromagnetic energy, which there is more to that, and it's called Merkaba mechanics, but that's just too much to get into right now. But it has to do with importing and exporting of particle and antiparticle matter. So in the descension, there is no resistance, as the body feels weak and tired, and it cannot resist the absorption. Its functioning has plateaued. And this is when we have the strongest desire to sleep. In the ascension, there is resistance, as in we are expanding against the gravitational force energetically. So there is more reflection and there's more transmission. Now, we are currently running up to 15 different ascension cycles simultaneously within one-dimensional band of consciousness or sphere of the mind or strand of the DNA. And I'm not even including the solar ascension cycles, but I really do feel like I want to. I feel that the solar ascension cycles are operating larger ascension scales within the body. So I feel the moon and the subconscious sphere and the pineal are operating immediate ascension cycles, and the sun is operating less immediate ascension cycles, because if you look at the sun's ascension cycle, it's on an 11-year ascension cycle. We're coming up on the 25th solar cycle. Since 1755 is when they've been actually keeping track of this, and that's when solar sunspot activity began as far as we know. And it's expected to begin a new cycle in late 2019, and they're actually predicting October 2019, and it's the 25th cycle. So I think that's kind of symbolic to my birthday, because my birthday is October 25th. So I just find that interesting, and I kind of feel like I'm starting a new solar cycle with the sun, and I'm ascending within that cycle. I'm at least conscious and aware of my ascension within that 11-year cycle now. And now I know that I'm starting it off on the 25th of October, which is really cool. The solar sun is directing greater ascension cycles in 11-year increments. And then you also have the precession of the equinox, which is 26,000 year cycles for Earth. And we're also connected to those ascension cycles as well. So there's multiple ascension cycles, all just one gigantic sphere within a sphere within a sphere within a cycle within a cycle within a cycle. All of these cycles are directed by the pineal and are reactive to the plasma radial wave infusions of the moon and this gravitational tidal force that emits through 15-dimensional frequency bands on the planet. This moon energy on Earth is increasing more. Many will be becoming more aware of the radial primal light transmissions of the moon and sound waves of the triple goddess. And I keep calling it the triple goddess if anybody's caught on to that yet, but I say triple goddess because it's the year of the feminine. You'll notice feminine has the number 9 in it. 2019 also breaks down to 3 in numerology. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, and 3 threes is the mark of the triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone, which means you will be feeling the power of the moon times 3 from now on. A lot of this will be realized through REM cycles, human physiology, human behavior times 3, endocrine, hormonal, ascension symptoms, basically your body reacting to the increased magnetic energy and diagmatic relationship with the moon. And we will continue to be that of lunar lunacy, with the Maya, the captain on the ship of delusional high tides at sea. So highly illuminated energy and amplification right now, realities, illusions, distortions, programming, shadow, you name it. It's being pushed into the visible realms for one to have to work through that matrix system and fragmented dimension of themselves. All simultaneously in coexisting cycles and rhythms are being pushed to the forefront of our consciousness to visualize the waves, the cycles, the rays, the light spectrum frequency, and quantum mechanic divinity. So congratulations, we are all going crazy. So we have sleep circadian rhythms and biological clocks that are all an aspect of your greater ascension cycle, as it contributes to the whole picture of ascension and in reality in a very big way. That's why if you're serious about ascension, you're going to get into alignment with your body's natural cycles. You're going to rise and sleep with the sun. You're going to honor and rest your body while you heal, while you absorb and integrate photonic light. When the body is still and resting, we absorb more light. When we absorb more light, we are expanding photonically and geometrically inside, which means we are contracting, so to speak, energetically. And we are taking in more cosmically charged overtones and bass tones. And the pineal will release melatonin from sensing the decrease in light. Because when the sun goes down and darkness occurs, the pineal is turned on and it is tuned up to stellar lunar plasma wave infusions of 15-dimensional bands and cycles and primal light sound orders. We are also clearing more timelines during sleep, literally going through time continuum shifts, which means planetary acceleration, which is an increase in particle pulsation rhythm for the third dimension. So as the planetary particle rhythm accelerates, so does the human auric field. So these processes, if you're not attuning your body to these evolutionary phases that are happening with or without you, can result in cellular deterioration, which will enhance and increase ascension symptoms and spiritual experiences, lucid dreams in connection to the spiritual realms, ultimately because those cellular walls are breaking down so you actually have more access. But the key is not to intentionally break down your cellular walls or break down your physical body. It is to harmonize with the evolutionary ascension cycles and the natural rhythms of the body. The body essentially breaks down and then wakes up to physical energy. So this is what most people's ascension resembles, is this breaking down and waking up process. The body was sleeping alongside your consciousness. So once the body wakes up to physical energy, so many start to go through physical ascension, because for a long time, ascension is just a concept or something that is outside of you to try to understand. And a lot of times you can't understand it. And that is why in religion and in more human linear mentalities, those who haven't woke up to ascension codes follow a belief that Christ is outside of them, because the belief that Christ is within them is too far out of them for them to perceive. It is too far out. It hasn't come inside of the body yet. So this is what ascension is when it comes in the body, and your physical body wakes up to energy. So many will start to go through physical ascension for a long time, just trying to get their body right, feeling energy on a very physical level. That's kind of where I was for a long time, for like 3 years. The first year I was a wreck, and I really just don't even know how I lived through it. And then went into, this incredible spiritual transformation. My experience with energy was felt in a very physical way. I would feel energy. I would feel auric fields literally just like pass through my entire being, as if I was invisible, as if I didn't even have any cellular structure. And this is why I have to be very cautious and conscious of energy, is because if I'm not careful and I walk into a field that holds a lot of resistance, and I'm not even talking just resistance, I'm talking holding resistance and then also holding a very, very, very low frequency. Their ascension cycle is probably connected to the galactic alignment, which is ultimately connected to a black hole. Okay, so that will deplete me to a point that I'll actually become physically ill. I will actually have to go home and sleep for a couple hours because I don't feel well. So once energy becomes a very physical experience, that's when you fully start ascending, because you're actually bringing your physical body through to these higher dimensions of ascension. The body has to come with the consciousness. The consciousness was the last thing to wake up. We thought it was the last thing to wake up, but no, the body was the last thing to wake up, and now we have to bring the body up to the consciousness. So that's basically what's pushed me so quantumly inside myself, if you're wondering why I am this way, because energy has become a part of my reality. It is my physical experience, to experience the invisible realms. And you can feel the morphological processes changing you in quantum space-time. You can feel spirit embodiment changing your DNA, and you become aware of when and why and how it's happening. And you see it molecularly in your mind. You see DNA, you see strands, you see structures, you see particuli, you see particles, you see toxins and chemicals inside of yourself, and your blood essentially speaks to you. So it's really just attuning your awareness to that voice. But this is what we're waking up to, is consciously perceiving our own biological clocks, evolution within our pineal and multidimensional bodily systems. I do feel that the moon is of a higher intelligence to Earth. The moon's rotation is immensely faster than that of Earth's, and it's almost like she's just running around us at these higher intellectual speeds. If we are planetary beings, our body is the Earth, and our pineal is the moon, our center point of our body. We are flipped and opposite representations of these planetary beings, and Earth is the center point, and the moon is the rotating body. And this is why planetary health has everything to do with our functioning of our psyche. If the geobiomagnetic field is weakened, then the tubing and the encased sheath that cosmic lunar charged particles radiate through will be increased. and disturb the functioning of the pineal and have one thinking they have hormonal problems, endocrine problems, reproduction problems. Basically, any aspect of you that's tied to an ascension cycle is likely to go haywire. This is ultimately why I am so passionate about this stuff, because this is what is causing accelerated time continuum shifts and mass kundalini awakenings, is we are going through literal planetary time acceleration. Do you think we would know it if we woke up tomorrow and we're 10 years older? Do you think we would know? No. Everything would have happened already. We would already have the memory. We would wake up to being 10 years older. We wouldn't know. It reminds me of that movie, Adam Sandler, Click, where he just fast forwards his life. I mean, that's kind of funny, but that's really what this is. I mean, planetary time acceleration. Just watch the movie Click. Ultimately, this is all about choice and response in every moment. That's why understanding your soul genetic expression, which would be your starseed origins, and this is important. So you're aware of your inherent responses. This is what your starseed origins teach you, is your mythology, how you respond, what you came on this planet here to do. This is why understanding this aspect of yourself is very important. And if you would like a starseed origin reading, please message me on my Facebook, or you can email me at my Gmail, indigoangel222@gmail.com. But essentially, this is how we attune to cosmic intelligence, is through listening to our higher self, allowing the Oversoul's voice to become the louder, the one we consistently listen to. And then from there, it just becomes about purification. And stay tuned to my channel, because I am going to be putting out a purification invocation here really soon. It's really all I can think about at the moment. So if I don't just start putting my pen to the paper, it's going to just consume my being. So a lot is going on cosmically, galactically, energetically, photonically, electromagnetically, geometrically, inside of the body, inside of each one's consciousness and mental spheres. For each one who are on this ascension path, this path of multidimensionality, and walking around on New Earth, lit up like a Christmas tree, and being a hyper metagalactic attuned empath with a fully activated toroidal field, essentially having 12 to 48 strands of the DNA activated, resonating with the labels starseed, indigo, crystal, rainbow, emerald, aquatic, all just ways that we find each other to bring knowledge together and tether soul groups for group ascension, connection, healing, and growth and support. This is what this is all about. This is why we are here. And this is my message today. So I hope that you resonated with this. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it activated you to the influence of the moon at this time, and how this is interconnected to all of our ascension cycles. Yes, we may be ascending, but we're not just ascending. There are many levels and layers and perceptions, cycles and spheres and multidimensionality within that ascension, and each one of those can be broken down to deeper understanding and to deeper harmonization with yourself and purification of that aspect of yourself. And that is the beauty of it, is that we can identify these things now in this evolution of the Aquarian age. So a lot of aquatic collective activations right now, Aquafarian activations right now. If you haven't checked out my Aquafarian video, my activation, I suggest you do that. So I just want to thank you so much for watching, and namaste. You are so amazing to me. I appreciate all your love and support, and I hope you have a beautiful everything. Namaste.